Let's say your kids are squabbling. It's very easy to be like, that's their sin. That's their problem. It's not mine. But you're the authority over them. You're the one who's required to teach them how to behave well, how to love one another, how to live like Christians. I wanted to do some quick troubleshooting pep talks for mom. If I could come to your house for coffee and you were to say to me, everything is terrible. The kids are fussing, whatever thing is afflicting you today. The first one, and this is something that I have myself done probably thousands of times, it's the troubleshooting, parenting troubleshooting equivalent of turning your phone off and turning it back on again. It's kind of the stop, drop, and roll of all parenting crisis. It would be, the first step would be to take responsibility for what is happening, to objectively say, this is my responsibility. I need to correct this situation. The second step is to repent, because if it is your responsibility and you know that and you've received it from the Lord that this is your responsibility, then there's probably some sin tangled up in there and you need to repent of whatever sin got you to this place. And then the third step would be to require obedience, first of yourself, and then after that of any of the kids in your home. So to flesh this out with an example, let's say your kids are squabbling. It's very easy to be like, that's their sin, that's their problem. It's not mine. But you're the authority over them. You're the one who's required to teach them how to behave well, how to love one another, how to live like Christians. So when you see your children in sin, you need to take responsibility for that. You need to say, Lord, this is my job, and I have dropped the ball because they are in sin. Very rarely in my mothering experience did I see my children in sin that could not directly reflect on my own sin. If they're fussing, I probably have been fussing in my head or in my heart. If they're angry with one another, I probably have been doing a more mature adult version of a suppressed anger about something. So the action of taking responsibility for their sin often reveals sin in yourself. It reveals something that you probably didn't really want to look at. So that confessing your sin, like saying, Lord, my attitude's been bad and this is happening, or Lord, I was complaining, and so they are also. Confess that. And then the final step, because you confessed your sin, you're now spiritually qualified to require obedience of your children also. You've taken responsibility, you've confessed your sin, you're ready to obey God. So now you can say, listen, kids, forgive me for the way I dropped the ball here. This is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to honor God now. It's not like a huge process, but it makes a huge difference in your own mothering if when you see a problem that's happening in your home with your children, your first response is to take responsibility for that. That's because when you take responsibility, you know what to do with that. You know to go to Christ. You know to get forgiveness. You know to restore things. And you can lead your children through how a Christian ought to behave when we get into these sorts of problems. So those three steps: take responsibility that this is your problem, repent of how you have dropped the ball, and then in the third phase, require obedience. Whatever the problem is, those three things will make a difference. I guarantee you they will make a difference. And it's not easy, but it is very simple to say, whatever problem we're having, that's my job. God put me here to sort this out, to figure this out, to confess my own sin, and then to offer obedience to Him.